start this podcast and end with like a little quote or inspirational thing. Mine today is the only clue what man can do is what man has done by R.G. Collingworth, which is cool. But if I think about that, it's like there's little child prodigies that I wouldn't be able to copy, but it's still a cool quote.
That's deep.
Anyway, today we got with us a killer guest, killer band, and my brother here is going to introduce you to him.
Cool. All right. Well, with us today, we got a band from Florida called Withering Earth, and a couple of members of the band with us today. Greg, and I think I'm saying this right, and Dick Wisby. Okay, cool. So how you guys doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what your band's all about.
Hey, my name's Greg. I'm the lead singer and a rhythm guitar player for Withering Earth. We've been doing this since 2015. We're Viking themed, melodic death metal and some slight power metal. A bunch of like to use a lot of mythos, Viking stories and mythology as lyric foundation. We love to use the imagery. We're based off of the Ulf Hednar, which is wolf berserkers of the Viking peoples. Things like that. Viking peoples. We've been in a number of bands before this, but this is our main thing that we do. We really enjoy it.
Cool. So yeah, we were listening to some of your music earlier, and saw a couple of videos with the whole wolf skin that you guys were wearing on stage. And so, did you hunt them down and kill them yourself? Did you eat raw meat on stage? What kind of stage antics you got going on there?
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah, no, we do that. Our hunting ground was Michael's.
And Joanne's.
Joanne, that's what it is.
Rest in peace, baby girl.
So
Speaking
the song.
I got my work cup right here.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
that's very cool. So the song Ulf Hednar, if I'm pronouncing that right?
Yes.
That basically means Norse warriors that wore wolf skins in battle, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
All right, cool. So what are your plans for like 2026 here? And what kind of shows you got lined up?
We actually got a North Forks Gathering. Second year we'll be doing it, and I think it's May 22nd or May 23rd up in North Carolina, and then
killer.
We are setting up a tour.
Yeah,
we're doing a tour in September. Another 4-day tour in September up into Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that you guys got that show scheduled May 23rd in New London, North Carolina, which is about an hour and a half from where we are at. So we're definitely going to come check it out and see what you guys are all about and fucking party with you guys, have a couple beers and
yeah, they got meat there too.
All right, there you go.
Nice. So, I've read a bunch of stuff on some of these other bands that say shit like when you're doing live performances and say you've only got a crowd of 15, 20 people as opposed to a couple hundred, and most people are like, it's like a paid practice. And I totally disagree with that shit. Paid practice means you're just fucking hanging out, playing loosely, and not giving a shit.
Right.
I mean, we've always been under the impression it's like whether even if you only got one or two people there, those people are paying to see you and they expect your best performance. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll wear the full 9, even if it's only a handful of people. We'll get the full outfits on, all the face paint, they're getting the whole experience and the whole show, regardless of how many people are there. That's how we are.
Unless you were at last night's show and I forgot my entire outfit at home.
It shit happens, which we'll talk about later. But hey, I got a question about backing tracks because obviously you have a lot of keys in some of the songs. Do you use backing tracks, and how do you control that with like wireless MIDI controller, or how do you do it?
It's actually just a small analog mixer that we have for the drummer, and we run it off the tablet into the to the mixer. But before it goes to the mixer, we have a DI box, a double DI box. One goes to his mixer, and one goes to front of house. So all I have to do is just hit play, and it automatically goes straight to the front of house. And then the drummer gets the click. So it's the backing tracks all have clicks on them, but it's split to left and right, and front of house gets right, drummer gets left, left has all the click.
That's all you guys. You just mentioned you had a show last night at a place called I think it was West End Trading Company.
Yes.
How did that go for you guys?
It was a pretty good show. It was a pretty good show.
It was a really decent turnout, especially for a Friday night with a lot of options there right on that street. It was very well packed out, so we were very happy with the turnout.
Cool. Now, are most of these shows that you guys do, are they, were tickets in advance? And have you ever had cancelizations because of shit like that? Or is it mostly just walk in and you pray for the best?
Oh, last night was the first show that we've played in a very long time where we had to sell tickets. A lot of the promoters around here are going to Eventbrite and Ticketmaster, and you basically just share the link on your Facebook post or your Instagram post or whatever. But last night they actually had paper tickets, and it's like we haven't done that in 6 years. It feels like.
Yeah, it was a very, very, very weird experience for that.
Yeah, I mean, with nowadays, of course, me and my brother a little bit on the older side, as you can see, we go back in the days before the internet and shit. And, you had to put up posters on telephone poles and shit like that to, advertise your band. Well, social media has kind of changed that shit a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also done a little bit of good too. You get your name out there a little bit more and spread it out without, fucking calling all your friends and hey, we're playing here next Friday. Tell everybody you know. And so it's how has the social media stuff changed? You say for you guys, and what has it done for you?
Stop stealing my question.
In comparison to like my last band, social media has done a lot. It's changed the game for promoting and all that stuff. Because my old band, we used to run around putting flyers up on telephone poles. Also,
Oh yeah, I totally remember that.
Going to high schools and throwing flyers over the gates after it's closed, and yeah, we've done all of it.
It really opened the doors for us, especially with international fans, people who would never get a chance to see or hear about us over here with those classic styles we're promoting.
Right.
We have fans all over the world now, thanks to internet and social media stuff like that, and it really has changed the game.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, kind of same for us when we started this thing. We just started out local and didn't really have a lot of listeners local, and then it like blew up overseas. We got like tons of bands from the UK on. And speaking of which, have you guys heard of a band called Gospels of Odin?
The name sounds familiar. I think I've seen it on Facebook, but I don't think I've ever fully checked them out.
Yeah, it's a band you got to check out. And the dude we talked to, Jay, he's like multi-talented. Basically the same kind of style
real
as you guys.
Similar to what you guys do, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, he's from the UK, and just check it out because they're pretty impressive.
Nice.
So you guys, like you mentioned, you've been in bands before and stuff. Band dynamics is always, a fun issue to deal with as far as trying to get the right members and the commitment level and all that. Share a couple stories with you about what that's been like, not only with maybe previous bands, but with the band you're in now, and as far as going through members and getting the right people until it finally fucking clicks.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we've gone through a lot of bass players since we started out here, just with our band alone. It seems like we've had the very worst luck with bass players up until like now. Thankfully, with Ryman, who just joined us maybe about a couple months ago.
That was a couple months ago. No, a year ago.
He's been with us for about a year now. It all just boils down to like, can everyone give the same equal personal commitment? Can everyone make the obligations that are required? And it's unfortunately a very cut and dry yes or no. Yeah. If you can't, the band is only as successful as the weakest link, weakest member. If everyone has the same levels going up, it'll be no issue. And so it's being able to trust everybody involved to know that they're going to give their part when it's time to give their part and not give anyone any guff about it. You'll know that they'll get it done, and it's all a big trust game. We're all married.
Okay. Yeah. We totally understand that. We've dealt with the band dynamics a lot, gone through different players. And yeah, it's a struggle. It's like, like there's a lot of bands play. It's a marriage, you guys spend a lot of time together. A lot of emotions are shared. It's a struggle. What type of people come to your shows typically? I mean, is a lot of friends, or you have a good following out there?
Everybody.
Yeah, we do have friends that show up that we've met through the journey of playing and stuff like that. But a lot of times it's people we've never met.
We keep getting brand new audiences every time we go, and we seem to grab people from every walk of life, every age group, every background. People just are really attracted to what we do and the energy we bring, and we're very fortunate for that.
Good. Good.
Nice. With going back to the whole band dynamic thing, and you got to talk about like families and loved ones and shit that goes along with that. I mean, we can both attest to having failed marriages and relationships because of always putting music and band first. Is like how do you guys deal with that as a whole? What are you guys, any of you married with kids and have to do the double life thing?
I'm married with 2 kids. Christian's got a kid. He's married.
I'm married.
And Ryman's got a kid.
So we again, it's all a trust and an understanding thing. You got to be with someone who can trust that you're going to be there for them, despite the career path that you're taking. And make no mistake, it's a career. Yeah. It's a job just as much as it is a privilege and a pleasure to do. It is treated exactly as a business. And as long as there is a mature understanding about that, dynamics are just going to work out. So as long as you got that partner, it's no issue to deal with, because like my wife completely understands that this is my career choice. This is where I'm going business wise, and she fully supports that. So does the rest of my family. They've all supported me since I started back in 2009. They've supported me on it. They saw something and they saw I could do it, and they'd be like, you know what? We're going to watch this and we're going to push this for you. So that's my experience.
Yeah. You're very fortunate.
Comes to every show. So she runs our merch for us.
Oh, sweet.
She's in there somewhere. Yeah, she's right there. She's right there.
I can't quite see that, but cool.
So to date, what would you think was say best performance or biggest performance, something that goes on the wall of fame right now?
Oh man, there's so many to try to choose from on that one. I think our gore show would go down in history.
That's the one.
That was wild. That was a second show.
Light the dance.
Yeah. I would have to say either that one or when we played with Insafirum and Corporate Clowny out in Tampa. Hailstorm was also a really good one. That was a fantastic show. That was the whole weekend. But our gore show was intense.
It was by far the single most fully packed venue that we had played, and it was only the second show we'd have played as a band at that point. So it was a real like going from 0 to 150 kind of jump. So we were more than ready for it. It was just the immediate shock of it was something else, and the reaction that we got was explosive. So it was what you call positive reinforcement for the band just starting out.
Yeah, I think there was at least 800 to 900 people inside the venue.
Nice. That's a good way to do a second show.
Yeah, no shit.
It was a great show.
We can kind of attest to that because our first show was actually a killer show, kind of like that, where the club just blew up and there was like, I think more people than the fire department actually wanted in there.
Yeah.
It was like 500 and a 200 seat like fucking venue.
Yeah.
So you can attest to that feeling. So that's very cool.
Yeah, it's not like having a feeling like that one, especially if it's one of your first few shows and all of a sudden you got people just fucking head banging and just really getting into your shit. It's like there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we felt right at home though.
Nice.
Cool.
Previous episodes we've talked to some guys that have had experience. Martin Motnick from the group Accept, Bruce Franklin from Trouble. Some big name people that we hear their stories about how they pretty much locked themselves up in their room during middle school and high school years to get to the level they're at now. Mm-hmm. When did each of you guys start, and when did you realize that this is the shit I want to do the rest of my life?
I started playing bass when I was 11. My dad taught me how to play bass, and then every band that I was in, I was a bass player. And then this guy wanted me to be the bass player of his old band, and I just wasn't feeling it too much. And then he started up this project, and he wanted me to play bass, and then I was like, I want to play guitar. So that's where that started.
The worst he could say is no.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously it worked out, so that's killer.
It did. Absolutely. Can't complain.
So
Oh, go
I
ahead. Go ahead.
started I started out when I started taking interest in guitar at 11 years old. I watched, I believe it was we had just gotten internet, and I kind of started discovering some metal bands. Iron Maiden was the first one that I
Okay.
actually got to see live video of, and it was the live video of them playing the Trooper from the camera photographer section in front of the crowd. And it was like, obviously it was like potato quality video, but just being able to see like the way they make guitar playing look so effortless and so comfortable, and look so like they look like they enjoy what they do. And I was like, that was so much fun to do. I couldn't get the idea of those guitars out of my head. And I was just like, I was thinking about it. And then a year later, my mom at that point was like, okay, you've been going on about this for a year. I'll get you one. And so we got me a Johnson AXL Stratocaster tobacco burst. It was a beginner set. Came with a little 10-watt amplifier, a cable, some picks, a strap, and the guitar.
Right.
And I got some private lessons for a year where he tried to teach me chords and like some basic la 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 la. I'm like, I don't know what this is supposed to sound like. I've never heard this stuff before. I don't know. And so he's like, I'll tell you what music do you like to listen to? And I was like, Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Hendrix. And he's like, okay, let's learn some stuff you like to listen to. Stuff you already know how it sounds. Okay. And so he taught me some simple Black Sabbath riffs like Iron Man. We did Paranoid. Single finger on a single string, just pluck, 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 pluck. Super easy, just so I could get an ear and a feel for the music on a guitar. I highly recommend anyone interested in getting into guitar starting with a baby step version like that. I can't tell you how rewarding it is immediately when you hear your favorite song coming from your fingers. Even if it's just one finger on one string at a time, it is the most reinforcing thing you could do as a beginner player. Highly recommend that, because that has taken me to figure out how to learn music my own way. I learned how to play all these other songs I love to listen to by ear. That gave me more confidence. And then once I started realizing just kind of how these guys write music and how the music kind of feels, things started changing, and I started feeling comfortable with writing my own stuff. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. But 11, 12 years old, Iron Maiden, live with the Trooper, I would say that's where it all started for me, where I'm like, I think guitar would be fun for me. I think I'd rather do that for the rest of my
This
life.
I like this.
Yeah, I'll take that. And I just never once questioned it. It's just been like, just let it take me wherever it's going, and here we are.
Cool. Very cool. When was that like magic moment when you like stopped thinking and actually felt you're playing?
Ooh.
That's a-
Felt.
Everybody hits that like that wall and knows like when. It's like, damn, I don't have to think about this. I know what I'm doing. I feel it, and it's like it's gelling with the rest of the band.
I think it would have to be. I think it was my very first show with the very first band I joined straight out of high school. It was a band called Fool's Haven. I remember I found a flyer at Hot Topic at the Melbourne Mall down here back when that was still a thing. They actually had a little billboard thing. They were selling CDs at the time still, if you could believe that. And there was a flyer advertising they were looking for another guitar player. I'd only performed for people one time before this, and that was at my high school. And that was a completely fluky event that I wasn't expecting to do. But got such a great reaction, I was like, okay, why not? And then that sign popped up very shortly afterwards. And I'm like, okay, well, this seems more providence towards my decision. Let me go try it out. So I get there, I do rehearsal with them, I learn their songs, they like it, they want me in, I get gear, and we get the show booked in Orlando at this place that's no longer there called the Dungeon.
Or
Cool.
It had this god awful pillar in the middle of the pit area too. It was like an 8 by 8 pillar just right in the middle of the pit area.
Dangerous area.
There was three there. There was three stages. Look, walk with me for a second. So you pull in, and there's just a dirt gravel road that comes up, and it's an angular property
Right.
that's fenced off. It's like a diagonal fence post kind of shape. On the far end is the indoor venue, and yes, it does have like three pillars in the pit area on front of a stage that's maybe like 2 feet off the ground. And then the bar in the back. There's an on the outside of that venue of that building, next closest to you, there's an outdoor stage against the wall there that's maybe 5 feet off the ground, made of wood and just dirt, just rocks for the pit area. Then you go in the farthest back to the left, and it's like a traditional kind of like honky tonk country bar, pool tables, the whole nine, neon moon, everything. And we're playing there, and it's the first time I'm ever really experiencing what it's like to be in a band at a show. And by the time we go on stage, it's like maybe like 10 o'clock at night. This was an all day festival. We got there at maybe like 2 in the afternoon, and we're getting on there, and we finally start playing. I'm in. So we thought we were Tool, Russian Circles. We thought we were Porcupine Tree. But we thought we were. And so we got these Under Armour shirts that we had used like neon fabric paint to paint designs on, and we had black lights hooked up to the support beams above the stage for us.
I could
And
picture
so we're in black light garbage.
it.
But I remember I'm just standing there during one of the heavier, mellower parts of one of our would be Tool songs, and I'm just my mind just melts away in the entire vibe. I completely forget where I'm at, and I just completely lose myself. Exactly what you mean, melted away in this silly goober blacklight highlighter fabric paint outfit as I'm playing this fun, heavy, goofy music, and I never turned my back. I was like, I need to have this the rest of my life. This is all I ever want to do.
Sweet. Dick, how about you? When was that first moment?
It was before I was even in a band. It was when I was just learning how to play bass and stuff like that. I just picked up the bass really quickly, and I started learning some of the hardest songs I could possibly learn, which is Matt Freeman's bass lines from the band Rancid, and I was able to play almost their entire discography. And it was at that moment I was like, this is what I want to do. I just want to play music. I just love doing it, and seeing people moving in a crowd just gives me that joy to keep doing it. I love that more than anything.
Nice.
So
How can
I
you not?
love how I said to start off with the simplest way to do it for guitar, and he's like, "Oh, I just went."
It's a
I
it's a
want to
base
play
player.
guitar here, not bass, guitar. I'm like, oh,
and like I
okay.
remember my dad was trying to learn the Rancid song that I haven't learned yet. But he was trying to like impress me and my brother because my brother's a guitar player and he's been playing since he was also like 10 or 11 years old. And I walked in on my dad trying to learn it. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like 14 or 15 at this time. And he's like, "I was just trying to learn this song." And I was like, "Which one?" He was like, "Radio by Rancid." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Let me give it a try real quick." And this is before like you had like autoplay tabs, like how Songster is and stuff like that. So you just
Right.
pull up the tablature and you have to read across it.
Uh-huh.
And we turned the song on and I just started playing. He was like, "I fucking walked out of the room." He was trying to learn it for like a week, and I picked it up and did it like first try. He was really upset.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that brings me to another thing. It's like, I mean, as a bass player, I get what you're saying there, Dick, because and going back to Iron Maiden, it's like, it was one of the first bands that I really started listening to, and Steve Harris just fucking blew me away. So I'm like,
Oh yeah, he's
I want to
amazing.
do it. And that's how I started learning. So it's like, everything after that was fucking easy. You learn how to do that shit. And like I said, we're a little bit older, so we go back to the days before the fucking internet, and there were no tabs or nothing. You had to learn everything by ear, and it made better musicians back then.
Oh yeah, totally.
You don't rely on shit nowadays. You got these kids coming out, and they just hook up their phone and stuff,
YouTube
and learn. It's like,
bam.
no, man, learn this shit by ear.
If I had this back then, it would have made everything so much easier.
Oh yeah, it definitely would have. But how would have that affected the way your musicianship? I mean, it's like it might have made it easier, but I think it probably would have changed your style a little bit, maybe, or I don't know. I think just learning the old-fashioned way was good.
I know what you're saying exactly.
Absolutely. So, like, when it comes to like that musical influences, that's the big crux of that whole thing. It's the internet giving everybody everything ever at your fingertips, just whatever you want. The amount of options you have is enough to overwhelm somebody into like putting it down, never want to touch it again. Like, I was very lucky to get the ass end and the beginning end of both. The end of analog, the beginning of digital, and right that little sweet spot where I just figured out enough on my own classically, and then was able to see the beginning influx of all this content being brought in gradually by the bands who could afford to do it at the time, like Iron Maiden could get a website built and stuff like that. Metallica, they got websites built relatively early on. So being able to get exposure to those guys at that time of the internet's history, when it was just trickling in, was the nice little intermediate jump for me to get into more complex music and doing more with my writing and stuff like that. So that's a really big thing. If I didn't have the constant options I had now. If I had them at the time, I would be absolutely overwhelmed, and I wouldn't have such a well funneled musical background.
Good point.
Yeah, I like what you said when you learn the one note song, and you just it gives you. But okay, so hear me out. Picture your new kid now trying to learn that shit. And all of a sudden, you put on some of these YouTube things with these fucking 6-year-old Asians that are just fucking going off. I mean, does that make you just want to throw the guitar away? It's a little disheartening when you see some of that.
That's kind of what my quote was all about.
I think at first I did. At first, I just wanted to throw my hands up, be like, I'm done. But I actually, I enjoy seeing that now, and it's crazy how talented some of those little kids are, man.
Oh yeah.
I always urge people, like, hey, listen, if you're learning, don't look at that. That's not a comparison.
It's not really a motivator.
Benchmark. That's an aspiration, but you gotta understand where that comes from. Natural talent is not the same as worked talent. You have to make sure you're comparing in your lane. So I'm always like, no, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't watch it. Not worth it. That kid's a fluke. Don't look at it.
All right, well, we have a segment called
"Oh Shit."
This is a moment when something's happened like terribly wrong on stage or during practice, or just one of those moments where it was, oh shit. We've all had them if you played for a while.
You go first.
Yeah, you go first.
So this is actually the freshest one. This happened yesterday at our show. On top of me leaving my backpack with my entire outfit, right? We just started using nano cortexes, and my guitar was slightly out of tune on the first song. Not a big deal. Finished the whole song, and we have a tuner on the app, right? I go to put the tuner on. This is in between songs, so we only got 20 seconds, 30 seconds at max, and I get my entire guitar in tune to 440 hertz. We play in 432.
Okay.
So I realized it right before the song started, and I put it as close to 432 as possible, because it's like you have to drag your finger across it. I got it at 433. I was like, that's close enough. I got the E, A, and D string in tune. The song starts. I start to play. I forgot to turn the tuner off. So I got nothing. I got nothing coming out of my cortex at all.
Oh damn. That's definitely no shit. Yeah.
I think that was like the one time that we actually stopped the song so I could turn my tuner off so we could start the song over again. And one of my buddies was there. He was just like, "You never stop the song."
Yeah, that's a hard moment right there.
So that was rough. That was rough.
I had to make fun of him though.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you don't acknowledge it, there's two ways it could go. So I was like, no, we're gonna make a goof of this, and it's gonna be part of the show now. This is part of the show now, and people loved it. Who cares?
It was hilarious.
I have two. One of them was with my previous band called Another Life Spared. At the time, we had participated in a battle of the bands to get on a show at the House of Blues in Orlando. So we got to do that, and we won and got to do that. This is my very first time on a like massive stage, like a properly massive stage, and was really blown away by it. Like they had Disney crew there to basically roadie all of our gear for us. They set it up for us. They hooked everything up. We didn't lift a fucking finger. And I was like, oh wow,
This is how the shit
get
goes.
used to that.
this is what the big guys get to do, and they still complain. So we're getting ready. Curtains closed. It's about time for the show. I get my wireless system hooked up. It's my very first time using a wireless system. I got it strictly for the show. It's basically brand new tech at this point. And I realize my tuner's on. I have to be playing the song before I'm walking out on stage. That's the kind of the whole cool thing we had planned.
All right, I get it.
So not me going sprinting across stage. Clonk, 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 clonk. You can hear footsteps clonk, clonk, clonk as our intro's going, and then stomp, clonk, 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 all the way back. And you can hear people going, huh? So the song starts, or curtains open up. We come running out on stage. I get to my side, and I'm like, real anxious. I got all this energy, pent up nervous energy. I'm like, yeah! I come up to the front of the stage. I'm in between the monitors, and my foot lands on a very thick, round cable. And only the cable. And my foot just rolls about half a foot off the front stage to nearly a 4-foot drop. And I, yeah. And just very gingerly walking right back because I'm like, I don't want to fall over.
Like the Homer meme.
Literally the Homer meme.
Backing into the hedge.
I landed my front foot with all of my body weight on a round cable that was thicker than that. That prevented me from landing on solid ground, so I just rolled. All my body weight were whoa, almost flung me right off this fucking 4-foot stage to my probable injury with the guitar at the very beginning of the song of our very first time on this massive stage. Right after I had to sprint across there previously to turn off my fucking tuner so I could even play the song.
That's an entrance.
Then second worst time is maybe about 6 years ago. We were doing a local band around here was doing a reunion show, a one-off reunion show, and I had recently gotten sick with mono, maybe like a month prior. This was right up the road for me, thankfully, at the time. I couldn't have been maybe like 4 blocks away. But no, I was sick with mono at the time. I was having very bad, my body was just shutting down randomly. I was like losing all energy, nasty pit in my stomach. It was awful. And I'm like, we have a show in a month still, and you're not going to be better in time for it. I'm like, can you get me well enough to perform? And they're like, no, we can't. I'm like,
Not gonna happen.
okay, well, I guess I'll perform without being well. So I get on stage. I'm in probably the most amount of stage gear.
So that's when you had your first ego.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the of our stint with the Viking gear, I had made my own coat, sort of surcoat thing that was based off of Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit movies at the time.
Okay.
for reference. It came out like a faux fur tuxedo, actually. So you live and you learn. So I'm wearing that. I'm wearing these massive black heavy leather shoulder pads with another thing of fur on top of that, wrist bracers, black boots, and a leather helm as
I
well.
remember your leather helmet.
And I don't have a fan on me. There's no air circulation, and we got like 18 microwave ovens cooking me from above the stage, the lights. I'm passing out nearly every other line of vocals I'm trying to scream, and where you have a 40-minute set, and I just finally get all the way through. I don't know how I pushed through. I think I actually blacked out through most of it. We get me off stage. I actually have to be carried off stage
Oh, damn.
to sit in the green room while the rest of the boys get everything off stage because I'm just I'm not well enough. And then I drive home 4 blocks away. The first thing I do when I walk in the door is I throw up a vicious black liquid. Something I've never seen before, something I've never had before or since. Just this, like a black bile of some sort.
Man, that's nasty.
It turned out it may have been like some sort of clot of some sort. I don't know, but it was like I growled out the mono demon from me.
Now, if you could have done that on stage, that might
Yeah,
have been
really,
cool.
black.
Oh, that would have been brutal. Oh God.
Some T.T. Allen stuff right there.
They're gonna be like, that's the best effect ever. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so effects.
Yeah, I'm just
I
getting
still
ready,
don't know how you
I'm
like
just
that
getting
show,
ready to
man.
ask
That
you,
was,
like, what maybe like one of the worst ideas that you ever did was, that might pull it off right there. Worst idea of the play while feeling that and wearing all that shit.
Yeah.
that was a rough show for him. I vividly remember that show. That was
Uh,
wild.
I think because I was so sick, I wasn't thinking about all the shit I was wearing. I'm like, wait a minute.
This is
But
contributing.
that goes back to our point earlier. Like, it doesn't matter who's there or what for it. They're getting the whole nine. They're getting the whole performance. And
Yeah.
I said,
Okay.
the hell with the health. The show must go on.
There you go.
Nice.
I think it was a pride thing. I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta know I can do it. To know I can be a professional here.
Yeah. Well, that's that's full on commitment right there.
I don't want to do it again though.
Yeah, no.
Then I would tend to not recommend.
Hey, with you guys' recording of your music, do you guys do that yourself, that and the mastering and all that, or do you actually go into a studio and have it done?
So our EP was done in the studio. Our first full length, that was actually done at our old drummer's house. We recorded everything at our drummer's house, and he attempted to do some of the mixing, but we actually sent the mixing off to a friend that we met that lives in the UK. His name's Josiah, and he did all of our mixing on our second album. And then this one is being recorded at another buddy's house.
So we do it all ourselves, more or less. But we have other people mix and master. Our previous drummer Keith did that for our first album for a little bit, and then we had our UK friend Josiah Nolan. Hi, buddy. He did it. Mixed and mastered our first LP, and now we have our good friend Cody Nordine of Nordic Hamster with Indian River Music Company. He's working with us to get our newest album produced and everything.
All right, cool.
Yeah, the mixing is gobbledygook nonsense to me.
Double.
All that mixing and mastering, somebody else can have that.
Yeah, I try. I'm a drummer, so all that technical stuff. I mean, I love learning it, but yeah, it's beyond me. A different pay scale right there.
We stick to what we know. We stick to our lane.
Exactly. So hey, so Greg, being the vocalist, how do you cover dead air? I mean, what's your go-to when you have dead air?
Well, there's two things. One, you can always give appreciation to the crowd. They always love that. It's always important to make sure that you thank them many, many times. Let them know who you are. It's just always good to have a certain couple things in the back of your mind of things that you want to talk about, like talking about how the show has gone in terms of being a good turnout or great sound or it's a great atmosphere. This is a really great energy, especially for tonight. Thank you guys so much. And then if it's not that and there's still some dead air, it's always entertaining to then yell at the crowd away from the mic. Make people have to listen. So because when they're having to listen, they're distracted by what's from whatever else is being done. So anything you can do to keep your audience distracted and or entertained in that sort of way. Our last show, not last night, but the previous one. Oh my God, who was it with? It was at the Orpheum.
Arcona.
Arcona.
Outfits and I can't remember the
other bands. So with Arcona, there was still some dead air. I think you were having an issue with your guitar signal not coming through with your cord.
That was my wireless.
Oh yeah, his wireless went out. So his wireless is going out, and the sound guy's up on stage trying to figure it out. I already done all the things I could think about, think of the crowd, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, it's still not fixed. So I just tell a joke. Sometimes you just gotta tell a joke. And then and regardless of if the joke succeeds or fails, you let them know if they want more that they could go somewhere fucking else. To a comedy club, if that's what they came here for, if they don't fucking like it. And it's very funny. That in and of itself is very funny. So
Exactly.
you have to be able to then appear to be caught off guard with them. It makes them feel like they're in on like something special.
Yeah.
Without it being and it takes all the what would look like maybe technical malfunction. It's just a part of the show. You can make it feel like an interactive experience. They love it. That's the best thing I could recommend. Interact with them and make them feel a part of the show, and they're on your side.
Have you guys ever had okay, one of our past bands, we've had cops come and pull out our guitar player for doing shit. And taking them, hauling them off of jail. Have you had any instances with other band members or family members that have pretty much destroyed the band, or to where you've had to change something up seriously?
Not that I could live because you might.
I do, yes.
Here.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh,
my last band broke up. We had two vocalists. We had a male and female vocalist, and unfortunately, with her, she was surrounded by people who were determined to make her a solo career, and decided that they were going to sabotage the band from within and make it look like it was the band's fault to gain her a sympathy tag. Very unfortunately. And it wasn't just our band that she had tried manipulating. She tried manipulating a whole bunch of, like, more or less all the bands in the scene at the time.
Wow.
So when stories started corroborating around, everyone was like, okay, you're the problem. But at that point, the damage had already been done. And the rest of the guys were just like, you know what, we really just
Done.
it's just not a vibe anymore, man. It's just kind of really a bad taste in the mouth, and it just dissolved from there.
and then Withering Earth.
More or less, it was about 3 or 4 years later. I kind of came back. I was like, you know what? I'm really fucking sick of how everything went down. I feel like I went out on the wrong terms. I feel like I was held very much back in both bands I was in at that time, and I was like, this is horseshit. I need to make sure that what I'm doing next is going to be for me, and that I can live with it. That I can be expressive and make sure everyone is expressive, so nobody feels like the fuck way I've been feeling here. In the last band, right under here, in an original band being like this, that's the worst.
Yeah, I remember you telling me all.
Everybody's got to be a part of it, or else it doesn't fucking work. So I got sick of that. And so I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this now, and it's going to be a family, and it's going to work. And then immediately, it does.
It does.
So,
Go ahead.
I'm fine with that.
Hey, one of the things we really want to do is do like a podcast during a show. And I know you guys are coming to North Carolina. Would you be open to doing like a little pre and post like show podcast?
Yeah.
And
those,
you have a
absolutely.
show part of your performance and all that shit. Just do the
Yeah, that'd be great. For Norse Forge, yeah.
That'd be really cool. And then you'd have all the band members there in a live setting too.
We're gonna have a booth there, aren't we?
Yes, we had the chance to have a booth last year too. We just didn't have this stuff.
Okay, but this year we
yeah, we just got to get a tent for it.
All right, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna have a tent booth set up for us. That way we have like a home base operations that we're gonna be hanging out with all day. People can come up and say hi, get to know us and whatnot. We can socialize, sell merch. You guys can totally come and we can set up shop at our tent and do the podcast right there. That would be dope.
That'd be real sick.
Now, how are you guys with the other bands that you're playing with? How many bands are there that day? Is it like a festival type thing, or?
There was like 3 last time with us included. 2 traditional Viking acts, and then us doing our OG Viking metal nonsense.
Nice.
There's the Viking twins that are going to be there, and there's a couple of other like solo artist people that are playing. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. I think he's trying to get a couple of other like metal bands to be there, but I'm not sure where he's at with that right now.
Could just be us
again.
There you go. Take the whole time.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun to do in live type thing and just hear the audience included and the people around it. Yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds like a deal.
It does. All right. So in closing here, we're kind of running out of time. We scheduled this for 60 minutes, but this show is all about from garage to stage. So do you have any advice for like new musicians to get to the point where you're at right now? Both of you.
The best way to do is to enjoy what you do.
Bam.
Find the style that you want to play in, and the more you enjoy doing that, the better it is, and the easier it will be playing live and getting from A to B.
All right.
If you try to force a genre of music that you're not really into just to play music, it's just not going to work out for you.
Yes, you got to enjoy what you do. Break down the stuff you like to listen to, so that way you can enjoy what you're doing while you're doing it. So that way it's not like it's not a struggle to get into it. You want to be able to know that you're going to have a good time with it. Even if it's simple single strokes, single finger, single note, that's perfectly acceptable. There's no set pace that you're supposed to be learning at. You learn at your pace, but learn what you love, and you will love what you learn.
Great advice.
I like that.
Great advice.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on the show. It's a fucking good time. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
Definitely good times.
But yeah, we'll definitely hook up with you guys here in a couple of months when you come to North Carolina. Excited to see the live performance and the raw energy that's going to go with it. Can't wait.
Yeah. Don't forget that it is a Renaissance festival style thing there. So if you guys want to come dressed up however you want to, or just normal, you're more than welcome to.
Oh no, you gotta dress up.
Yeah, no, leave her houses, whatever.
No shit. All right, guys. Hey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you later, man.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
Thanks, man. Definitely.
Bye.
Bye.